Most of us are taught to treat mathematics and art as if they live in completely different universes. We picture math as a rigid set of rules confined to chalkboards, while art represents the expressive, creative side of the human experience. But look at this fMRI scan from a neurobiology study led by Samir Zeki. When researchers monitored mathematicians as they evaluated equations, they watched a very specific part of the emotional brain, the medial orbitofrontal cortex, light up in response to the numbers. This is the identical neural hardware that fires when you look at the swirling brushstrokes of a Van Gogh portrait, or when you listen to a deeply moving piece of music. This discovery presents a mystery. Why would human biology evolve to process abstract, invisible numbers using the exact same emotional machinery it uses to experience physical beauty? In a mathematical context, beauty has nothing to do with typography or how the numbers look on a page. Instead, beauty is a measure of how a formula functions. Theoretical physicist Paul Dirac took this concept so seriously that he made it a rule for his work. He argued that for any physical law to be considered a viable model of nature, it had to possess mathematical beauty. Dirac and the mathematician G.H. Hardy defined that beauty through three traits: economy, inevitability, and simplicity. A beautiful proof achieves a complex, significant result using the minimum amount of conceptual baggage. The human brain's preference for this mathematical economy is an evolutionary trait developed to help us recognize the rules that govern our physical environment. The Fibonacci sequence starts with a simple rule of addition: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, each number the sum of the two before it. Drawing a curve through these expanding boxes creates a logarithmic spiral approaching the golden ratio. Curious? Sunflowers use this geometry to survive. By following these air-locking spirals, the plant achieves maximum seed density in a minimal amount of space. Plants use this identical sequence to determine the divergence angle of their leaves. Rotating each new sprout at an angle derived from the golden ratio ensures every leaf gets its own window to catch sunlight and rain. This mathematical efficiency governed structures from a tiny seed to the massive universe. Galaxies maintain their structural balance by following these same logarithmic curves. Nature relies on math because it is the most structurally and biologically efficient way to grow and maintain order. Historically, artists began observing these natural patterns of efficiency, intentionally translating them into their own designs. In the 5th century BCE, the Greek sculptor Polykleitos used this mathematical approach to document perfect body proportions. He turned the concept of symmetry into a geometric progression to describe the human form. Renaissance masters like Leonardo da Vinci later used these geometric bounds and ratios to create work that felt instinctively balanced and pleasant to the human eye. We are so drawn to these patterns that we sometimes imagine them where they don't exist. Popular claims suggest the Parthenon in Athens was designed using the golden ratio, but actual measurements of the ruins do not actually fit that rule. Classical artists utilized these proportions to tap directly into the brain's existing preference for mathematical efficiency. Which brings us back to that fMRI scan and the mathematician's emotional response to an equation. The activation seen in these scans follows the successful recognition of a complex, life-sustaining pattern of order. In the physical world, mathematical symmetry and ratio are direct indicators of biological health and structural efficiency. In this context, the sensation of beauty serves as a biological indicator, a signal that the brain has detected a high degree of structural or logical efficiency. The distinction between the logic of science and the emotion of art is a cultural construction. Biologically, both are expressions of the same human ability to detect and enjoy the universal code of order.